It feels cheap, but then again, we are here in Brooklyn.
I'm still here because you can't do your job. It's called a promo,
Shut
kid.
your
And
mouth,
if you want to
John.
be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it. So go ahead. Y'all look just like your mugshots.
You could ask me anything. You could have asked me about AEW.
Hey,
Let's talk about horsies for a second, huh, folks? They become about as useful as every single one of these fat white trash hicks.
all you've been showing the WWE Universe is that you got no balls, Brock.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Can you promise me that Friday before you step into that ring that you retrieve your balls from Stephanie's purse?
Your son will call Brock Lesnar Daddy!
Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God. Oh, we didn't start the fire. It was Ronda Rousey. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the follow-up show to the Royal Rumble. Joining me now to help me do this is a good man, a good friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Leigh Howison. Leigh, how are you?
Hello. I am great. I'm great, Ike. And I'm gonna ask first, how are you doing?
I'm here. I am here. I'm very excited though.
So am I.
Yeah, there's a lot to get to.
And I honestly, I'm mostly here for one reason today.
Okay.
I want to tell you my reason. It's to answer everyone's burning question after last night.
Okay.
And that is, does Ivory actually age, or did she just look 60 30 years ago?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. There's a lot to unpack about last night, man. There is a lot to unpack. All right. So, hey, everybody, this is Trolling the Territory. I'm Isaac Riston. He's Leigh Howison, and we just talk about wrestling. What turned into phone conversations has turned into a recorded show. We like to take a look at wrestling through the eyes of people that watched a lot in the Attitude Era. You stuck around for the early mid 2000s, right? You were still okay. I checked out around 2004, right when I started college, and then didn't come back until about 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. So that whole time frame is gone. But anyway, two great guys with a life, with a wife, and we're going to talk about the Royal Rumble that was last night, the 35th annual Royal Rumble. First off, Leigh, what was your first Royal Rumble? Do you remember watching your first Royal Rumble?
I think it was probably, it's got to be 97, like right in that Attitude era time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's got to be 97. That was my earliest.
It was the Undertaker versus Undertaker versus Yokozuna, which would have been the 94 Royal Rumble, where Brett and Luger both feet hit the floor at the same time.
Yeah.
Like the one that was planned, the only thing that was planned that Lex Luger ever completed perfectly. That I remember that being just absolutely wild. And then every year since, there's always like this kind of, it's unexpected. You don't know who's going to be an entrant. There's always a lot of surprises. A lot of things kick off the night after the Royal Rumble, just like a lot of things hopefully kick off after the WrestleMania. But what were your thoughts going into this? Because we're going to kind of breeze through the entire card and obviously spend a little bit more time on the Rumbles themselves. But was there anything that you were, looking forward to?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
The Lesnar-Lashley match, I was absolutely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Just because we've never seen it before. And it's kind of like two behemoths going up against each other, two very similar backgrounds, both legit MMA beasts.
Right.
And getting to watch that I was really excited for that. And generally, like, I think if you're at this point the type of person that says I never get excited for the Royal Rumble in general, you're probably like just jaded in life because it doesn't matter how bad.
Not just wrestling, just life.
Just life, yeah. Because it doesn't matter how bad WWE booking and programming has been. The Royal Rumble is always fun, and if you can't get past biases for just to see that, then there's no hope for you.
Well, it's one of the last pay-per-views that is still a traditional, a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Or premium live event. I'm going to say pay-per-view, everybody. Get over it.
Yep.
So if you look at Survivor Series, we haven't had a really good Survivor Series in a really long time. I think the most recent Survivor Series that was actually meaningful was when Sting showed up and confronted Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
That to me was like what Survivor Series is kind of meant to do. But more often than not, I mean, Elimination Chamber is a thing, but it wasn't started in, the 80s. Gosh, what else? SummerSlam. I mean, we always know there's going to be a big match at SummerSlam, but it's sometimes it's hit or miss. But yeah, the Rumble is the kind of thing that really has held on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and it still brings a measure of excitement because there's always going to be surprises. There's always going to be the unexpected, even if ultimate booking plans can get predictable for the super fan.
Right.
There's always a measure of unexpected. To be honest with you, that's kind of how I felt going into this pay-per-view.
Right.
For the first time in a while, I felt there was a lot of unpredictable nature and people not expecting, oh, they've already called every winner of every match. And I didn't feel that way going into this. Yep.
Well, let's talk about the card, and we'll kind of announce the card, and then we'll go piece by piece and talk about each match.
Sure.
Opening match was Universal Championship Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, followed by the Women's Royal Rumble match. The Raw Women's Championship match between Becky Lynch and Doudrop was after that. And then we had the WWE Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Then the match that no one asked for, Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth Phoenix.
Come on.
I'm not entirely anyway, Men's Royal Rumble match. We'll get to it. Then the Men's Royal Rumble match closed out the show. For a WWE, mainstay pay-per-view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only 6 different things going on in the entire pay-per-view. When was the last time there was a pay-per-view with 6 matches? Now, granted, 2 of these matches are hour-long matches, but
yeah, I was going to say that.
I'm pretty sure the break in between the Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley match and Miz and Maurice, like the amount of segments that aired in between that was as long as Becky Lynch versus Doudrop.
Exactly.
It was so bad.
That was the only. I gotta be honest with you. I enjoyed Miz and Maurice, the double tag thing.
Well, there's no
I enjoyed it much more than Becky Lynch and Doudrop. So.
Well, I'll agree with you there. The thing that didn't. Well, fuck. We'll talk about that in a minute. From the start, we get the Roman Reigns intro that just went. I think he's still coming down the aisle now.
I love how it gets your goat so much. So that's the best part.
I just don't understand. So we get the huge, beautiful package, and we go straight into the Universal Championship match. Mccool, Pat McAfee.
Are we going to breeze over Seth's entrance?
Well, no, we're getting there. I just wanted to give a moment of admiration and praise to Pat McAfee.
Of course.
Good God.
He's the star of the show.
And his shoes were odd for his jacket. I know he wanted to match the gold in the jacket, but sir, no. But Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns comes out first, and it's just him, no Paul Heyman, no Usos, which was kind of interesting. It still took him an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But by the time he got down to the ring, we then immediately hear, Sierra, Echo, whatever. And I saw somebody had posted think it was on YouTube. They had taken Taz's theme song and then slowed it down, and was like, "Oh, it's the Shield music." Somebody just slowed it down. Blew my mind.
Amazing.
Go listen to it. Blew my mind.
Beep.
Yeah, and it's the same track.
That's great.
Rollins comes out to the Shield music.
Yeah.
Part of me thought for a second, not only did Seth mention Jon Moxley, which we missed last week, but Seth mentioned Jon Moxley when they were in Nashville for SmackDown, and then Pat McAfee even brings up Mox.
Yeah.
During that whole, and I'm just like, you really interesting. Part of me thought, what did you think about him coming out as a member of the Shield?
I know where you're going with this, and honestly, this brings to the immediately unpredictable nature of this whole pay-per-view for me. Is that, yes, for a split second there, I was like, no, they wouldn't. I know all this talk about the Forbidden Door and all that stuff. It's like, they're not going to do that. He wouldn't come just for a stupid appearance like that. And of course he wouldn't, but like just for a split second.
I don't think he can after, his book.
Yeah, good point.
I don't know if he'll be allowed to come back.
But then again, it's not about that. It's about money.
It is.
You can say whatever you want about Vince McMahon. He does not care. That's the best part about him. Honestly, the only good part about him. You can say whatever you want about him. He's got a thick skin.
Yeah. What did you think? What did you think of the match?
I enjoyed it. I understand the finish.
Okay.
I get.
Go through it.
Well, I get that. I want to preface that by saying, why can't WWE give clean finishes? But am I a huge fan of psychological warfare storylines in wrestling? No, I'm not. Sometimes I just want to see fights and have a winner and a loser.
Right.
But if they're going to tell this story of Seth really getting in Roman's head, then I get it. I understand why they finish that way. It doesn't necessarily make Seth look weak.
Right.
So, if anything, it makes Roman look like he has a kink in his armor.
Sure.
So I understand the DQ finish. I understand the laughing maniacally as he's as Roman's trying to put him away with a submission, and I get it. He drove him to a madness, so he decides he's not gonna let go of his submission hold. It's fine. It's a finish.
Yeah.
The match itself was enjoyable. The two of them put on a good match. It was great.
Well, they're absolute monsters,
Yeah.
and they're really good at what they do. It just sucks that we don't get to see good matches from Seth unless he's wrestling Roman, and the same can be said for Roman.
Correct.
I'm interested in how, where does Rollins go after this?
Yeah.
Isn't he technically on Raw?
Technically, yeah.
Okay. So is he going to go after Lashley now?
I don't.
You know what I mean? Like like all these, the entire card was great. I'm just trying to figure out, okay, where are we going now?
Yeah, I agree. Which again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. You don't have to walk out of the overarching theme in this Royal Rumble, outside of the women's side, was the Roman and Brock story. So you don't necessarily have to walk out with everyone knowing where everybody else is going. Like, we'll find that out tomorrow night or whatever on Raw. That's what that's there for.
Right.
But it's an interesting question. Where's Seth going to go? Maybe he's not finished with this. Maybe he's not going to go away. You remember that no, I don't think anybody can forget his Money in the Bank cash in on Lesnar and Roman's match at WrestleMania. I hope that doesn't happen again, where he crashes the party. But
well, Money in the Bank is July 2nd, and that's going to be in Allegiant Stadium in Paradise, Nevada.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. Quick note: the pay-per-view after this, after Royal Rumble, is the Elimination Chamber, which is going to be held in Saudi Arabia, February 19th. So we're coming up pretty quick on that. That's only really 2 weeks away. It's about the third week in February. So, and that's also going to be on a Saturday. I didn't know this. This is a neat tidbit. Do you know what Elimination Chamber is promoted as in Germany?
No. No
Escape. Did not know that. Thank you, Wikipedia. We can probably, reduce reasons why. So, a match itself, I'm not a big fan of the finish, only because I don't think Seth really needs to have like a disqualification ruling on a match. I don't think he needs to win it. I don't think he needs to lose it. I think this was just kind of a placeholder match, and it's a good match between two people that can actually do the damn thing. So, I mean, I give it a B.
Yeah. I liked the imagery. The chair to the back.
Yeah.
At the end, kind of the callback to Seth turning on him. I like that. That was cool.
I like the sadistic kind of trying to do the fist bump thing, and then
right.
Anyway,
yeah,
it was good. It was good stuff. Well, the next match was the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, one thing that I was not at all anticipating was hearing that god awful entrance music by Sasha Banks at number one. In the history of all worthless, her and Liv Morgan's entrance music are garbage.
Yeah.
I like Damian Priest's new music.
Yeah, it's better. It's much better.
It's way better than him shooting the arrow.
Yes.
But okay, Women's Royal Rumble. Interesting things. Sasha Banks and Melina starting it out. We're starting out with someone who is part-time that we don't see that often, and a free agent, which brings me to a really good point. The Women's Royal Rumble match had a total of 8 entrants that were not a part of the show at all. Mm-hmm. Some of them were people that were recently released. Some of them were people that I had no idea that anyone was letting them near a ring anymore, a.k.a. Alicia Fox. But should we go through the participants?
Amazing. Yes, please.
So Sasha Banks was out first. Then comes Melina. Then we have the GTA character herself, Tamina.
Can we, just before that, I just need to ask you, do you think that Melina's early exit was on purpose, or do you think that was a flub? I think that was a botch.
At this point, aren't they both the same thing? I mean, I don't know if she's going to be able to pull off anything regardless. No offense, Melina. No offense.
No, it's but I kind of feel like she was. It just kind of felt like she was supposed to be in for a bit longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, isn't she working for Impact?
No, I think she works for a completely different company.
Well, according to so Wikipedia, Melina made her debut on August 5th, 2021 episode of Impact, where she was revealed as a challenger for Deonna Purrazzo's Knockout Championship at NWA Power. So, okay, that's right, because she did Empower. Okay. Anyway. No, I don't know. There were a lot of things that happened, not only in the Women's Rumble, but in the Men's Rumble, that I was like, I don't know if that was a thing.
Right.
Poor Kofi. Then Kelly. She was only in the match for, this is fun. Melina was in the match for less than a minute. She was in there for 53 seconds.
Yeah.
Kelly, a minute 5. Then out comes Aaliyah. Then we have a run of Raw, women's wrestlers. Liv Morgan, Queen Zelina. Don't understand that still.
Still don't.
Bianca Belair, woot woot. Dana Brooke, awesome, looked great. Now, so far, this is 9. Dana Brooke was number 9. Bianca Belair lasted the longest. She was in there for 47 minutes and 30 seconds. What a monster. Then we get Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
We knew about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just nobody ever makes a big deal. She's been in every one, actually, and no one ever makes a big deal out of her, despite the fact that she's Undertaker's wife. And she always does really well in the Rumbles.
I mean, well, she's a beast athlete for sure. She's
amazing.
She's amazing. And
in comparison to a lot of it was a really fun match. I'm not taking away from that, but in comparison to a lot of the entrants in that match, Michelle McCool looked like she never looks like she misses a step.
It's crazy that she isn't in the Hall of Fame, but Mighty Molly is.
Exactly.
So then we get Sonya Deville, who gear was awesome, by the way. I'm a big fan of Sonya Deville. And the stuff that she's doing with Naomi is awesome. Natalya comes out. Cameron.
Okay. Do you remember her?
No.
From the Funkadactyls?
Okay, there we go. Yes, I remember that. I think she did great.
I got an interesting tidbit about her. I don't know if you'd even know this.
Tell me.
Her most recent wrestling showing was actually in AEW.
Really?
It was in 2020, but that was the most recent wrestling thing that she did, and it was on Dynamite. And she, it says here she chose the same color token as Nyla Rose in the Deadly Draw lottery system, meaning the two would team for the AEW Women's Tag Team Cup tournament. They were eliminated in the first round after losing to Anna Jay and Ty Conti.
Well, hey, she got a payday. That's cool.
There you go.
Well, it's good to see her. She did great. She was only in there for 51 seconds, so less than a minute. Naomi, then we have Carmella. Can you explain the mask that Carmella is putting on? What is that?
I think it's protecting her beautiful face, for the most beautiful woman in WWE. Or
Let's put a mask on her.
It looks terrifying. It looks like she's put someone else's face on her face.
Like Dwight doing CPR. Speaking of Dwight doing CPR, Rhea Ripley was out next. I don't get it. Charlotte Flair then comes out at number 17. Then number 18, we get the best treat, I think. We mentioned it earlier, Ivory. Now, at this point, my wife was watching, and she was like, what is happening? I was like, Get ready. I was kind of hoping that Ivory would have went a little bit more in.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? But then she was eliminated by Rhea Ripley, and that made me even more mad. Then we had Brie Bella. Molly was talking mad trash about the Bellas. Like, it was great. She was like, they don't even look like they can do this. Should they be doing this? I'm like, no, they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't. They really shouldn't.
Then we get the icon herself, Mickie James.
To hardcore country.
To hardcore country, yes.
Hardcore country.
Not the
right, exactly.
Hey Mickey crap
that
they used for so many years.
Yeah, it was awful. Then we get Alicia Fox. I did not see that one coming.
That was a treat for me. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. Nikki ASH then comes out, and Molly goes, why did they put her in that outfit? And I'm like, listen, I don't know what to tell you. She was like, why is she doing that? And I was like, I don't know.
I'm happy about something. One thing. The first year that they put her in this outfit has been a complete joke and a waste of time. But if they're gonna do it, if they're gonna put her in that terrible outfit and have this gimmick, I'm really happy that they made her a heel.
Is she a heel now?
Yeah,
I haven't really.
She is. She's a heel, and as exemplified coming up here in a little bit. I'll let you keep going, but we'll see here in a little bit. But she is.
Yeah. Summer Rae comes out. Her mean face.
Yeah.
Nikki Bella was next. I can't believe that she eliminated Brie. Then Sarah Logan.
I know.
And her and Liv had a moment, which was nice, I guess.
Yeah.
Lita.
Yeah.
Molly was like, why is she in there? I was like, well, she managed some tag teams and she had the whale tail thing. That's really all I can tell you.
No, dude, are you kidding me? She's part of the first ever women's main event on Raw with Trish Stratus. She's a freaking legend.
Look, here's the thing. Just because it's the first doesn't mean it shouldn't have happened sooner. I'm proud that somebody has that kind of accolade under their belt, and I'm not taking anything away from Lita whatsoever. Just not my bag.
No, but I'll say this as far as like actual wrestling and pushing real wrestling in the women's and out of the bra and panties crap.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Lita and Trish, we wouldn't be seeing any of these women.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
That's why she was there.
Well, on that pedestal is also Mighty Molly. I'm just kidding. No, that was fantastic. She came out. She was only in there for 20 seconds, and then all of a sudden, after Mighty Molly, we get the return of somebody that I did not expect. This was a total shock for me. Ronda fucking Rousey.
Yes.
Did you see or hear anything about Ronda coming back?
Outside of just the every now and then I have a look at the betting odds, and for some weird reason she was the highest bet. She had the biggest odds of winning. After no one had mentioned anything about her, she had the highest odds of winning.
Weird.
So
somebody knew.
Super weird. I just want to glance over something. Listen, I understand that you're probably watching this and not paying attention much to what's going on. I do want to, because you just want to get through it. I do want to mention this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Each of these guest appearances and special appearances, each of them maybe lasted not even a minute, and were almost instantaneously eliminated.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, because
Michelle McCool, who is listed as a free agent, was in there for 20 minutes, and for a very good reason.
Yep.
For a very good reason.
Yep.
She's one of the few that actually keeps up with stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like probably has a little bit more working knowledge of her own body than... I mean, well, that sounds awful. You know what I mean? She stays in shape.
Yeah, for sure.
Clearly. And you could trust her to do 20 minutes of forearms. Yeah. Because that's essentially, that's what they all refer to it. The wrestlers have referred to it as just forearm. Get in a corner, grab a hold, try to pick somebody up. Like, you do it freely all the time, but for some reason... Anyway, continue. You
and then the other part was what I was going to get to earlier. Was you saw what happened with the Mighty Molly segment?
Remind me.
Nikki doesn't even allow her to get in the ring.
Really?
Yeah. She attacked her.
Oh, that's right. She got steamrolled.
Yeah, she got absolutely steamrolled. It looked actually pretty damn vicious, and Nikki went crazy and did the whole. There's only room for one fucking superhero.
Yeah,
and rolled her in, threw her out, and then that was that.
I think I remember making a joke about that to Molly. I was like, "Hey, you got called to go work. What am I doing? Yeah, you're gonna get hit by a dwarf wearing a cape like immediately. Oh, by the way, I need you to bring the cape gimmick too." Like, don't even worry about wearing a wig. Just do your thing.
Wearing a cape.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. Comparatively, she's, smaller. 29 was Shotzi. I don't know how she lasted to almost 3 minutes. And then the one entrant that kind of confused me at number 30 was Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
Well,
you know why it's confusing? It's confusing because of the way that these people have been booked.
Yeah.
Like, if we had skipped the last whole year, maybe 2 years of Shayna Baszler's booking, this might have made more sense.
It might have, yeah.
Because she is everyone forgets, one of the original four horsewomen of the UFC.
You're right.
But no one remembers her as that anymore because of the atrocious crap with Nia Jax and all the other soft stuff that they've booked her in. And it's just, it's been a waste. But now they're trying to pedal back. And it's hard to do that when fans don't have they're not goldfish.
Yeah. Do you think it's interesting how we had two people in this Rumble, Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair, They weren't in the ring at the same time. At all.
Ever?
No.
Like, was Sasha eliminated before Charlotte got there?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's interesting to speculate.
Yeah. She was the third person out. She was eliminated by Zelina.
I think that there's two things I wanted to say about that, by the way. I know that you're not a huge Sasha Banks fan. I will say that she was probably top 5 in that match. She still looked good, even if we don't like the way that she promos.
Well, if she was top 5 in that match, Bianca, Shayna, Charlotte, and Ronda wouldn't have been the final 4.
Well, I just meant showing wise. Like,
well, sure, yeah.
She looked great, and honestly, the crowd died for a while after she got eliminated. I don't know if you noticed that.
I mean, between her getting eliminated and Liv Morgan getting eliminated, like that was the I think those were the two like crowd favorites to win.
Yeah, for sure.
And the minute that Ronda came out, it was just like,
it was over. Absolutely. It was all over from there. Yeah. Which I was really happy about that. I was super pumped to see her. And the fact that she didn't come back with that stupid, cheesy, shit-eating grin on her face, that she just came down mean mugging it, came down for business. Like, you can tell, I can already tell that come Monday, she's going to be the heel Ronda Rousey, not the one that when right before she left. Right. The one that was dissing all the fans. That's the one I want to see. I don't want to see the happy-go-lucky one.
No, I don't either. But you could, like, honestly, if somebody would have given me a list of all these people, I couldn't have booked this any better. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun.
The complete opposite antithesis of the men's.
Well, let's keep going through the card. After this women's Royal Rumble match, we had the Raw Women's Championship match, which was Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. What were your thoughts of this weird showing?
I have a lot of thoughts. One is, it's clearly another placeholder championship match, which is fine. No one expected Doudrop to win this, surely, right?
Well, okay. So if it were a placeholder match, why would we not just have Charlotte and Becky both in the Rumble and just not have this at all?
Well, then that would be, I think it'd be weird to have both female champions. It would have taken away the specialness of Charlotte, like putting herself in the Royal Rumble match as a champion, like if somebody else did it too. Yeah. So I can see why they wouldn't do that. It's just to have another championship match, which is fine. But, you and I have a lot of the same opinions on this match for sure. And then I was reminded yesterday that we still look at things as longtime fans and as adult fans of the wrestling product. A buddy of mine texted me that knows I'm into wrestling and knows that I watch, that I hadn't spoken to in a while. It's actually Love and Theft's old sound guy. Mm-hmm. We reconnected recently, and he watches with his kid. She's a 13-year-old girl. Okay. And he texted me and said, "Doudrop's my girl." I was like, really? Thinking to myself, really? I was like, yeah, of course she is. You're watching with a 13-year-old girl. Right. Like, we don't look at it from that aspect. We look at it from, who the hell is this girl that's just taken Nia Jax's place as the resident large girl on, which is, look, man, that's facts.
No, it's facts. Just the resident large girl was.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's really funny. But
I'm really sorry that I just have to call a spade here.
We don't have a resident big man unless you're Brock Lesnar or Bobby Lashley. There's nobody that's built like the Funkadactyl or whatever his name was.
Yeah, exactly. Tyrus.
Yeah, exactly.
Young girls they want to look at a role model that doesn't just look like a supermodel, you know? Did it lose it again?
It's still going. You're here.
It's okay. So we haven't. Okay, cool. Yeah. I was gonna say, young girls look at people like that and go, that's a role model, because it's not just like looking at another supermodel that they're never going to look like. And you know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I think that is important to note here, that a large part of this programming is for kids. And I think Doudrop is one of those things.
Well, it wasn't boring at all. I mean,
no,
it was fun. And Becky Lynch is great. It's just, I don't know.
I'll say one thing. I saw on the last Raw, I tried to watch all wrestling shows this past week, just to lead up to it. And she can talk.
Yeah,
Doudrop.
no, she can. Yeah.
I just wish it wasn't called Doudrop.
Yeah, I don't really see that. Well, allegedly Vince does, because it was on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I just.
Yep.
Can you imagine, like, coming from a really, really, really corporate environment? Let's say you worked for like Nestle, right?
Yeah.
And you're in marketing with Nestle, and you get a marketing gig with World Wrestling Entertainment. You go in for your first meeting, and they're like, "All right, we got some material here for a female sports entertainer named Doudrop, and we want you to put together." It's like, excuse me, what was that? Doudrop? That's a woman's. Can I see a pic? Oh, that's Doudrop. You know, like you start like anyway. Right. I just don't get it.
Nope.
But then again, like you just said, not for me. It's all good. Next match was the WWE Championship, the Raw WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
First off, the package for this was fantastic.
Sure.
And I didn't expect it to kind of go as long as it did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of thought it was going to be a little bit of a quicker match. But we got 10 minutes of a match.
Right.
Finish wise, I don't know, man. I'm glad Bobby Lashley won.
So this is my theory.
Okay.
We all know that Roman got COVID, right?
Right.
Right up to that, they had been leading this storyline that Heyman had betrayed him, and Heyman was fired, and all this stuff. And I think that the original plans were supposed to be at day one, it was all going to be a ruse to get Brock Lesnar thinking he's all confident with Heyman in his corner, and Heyman was going to screw him over at day one. And then leading up to then Lesnar being the surprise 30th entrant in the Royal Rumble. And then there would have been a good 30-day sizzle between then and now. Everything had to be rushed because Roman got COVID.
Right.
I think this was always the plan, to have the WrestleMania main event be Lesnar and Roman. And it was always the plan to have Heyman screw over Lesnar. We just had to do it in a much more kind of rushed way. That's my opinion. That's at least my theory.
So with it being at AT&T Stadium,
yeah,
we can already kind of assume that obviously we're not getting The Rock yet.
No.
It's definitely going to be Lesnar and Roman again at Mania. Do you think they're going to do anything like to kind of prevent outside interference for this match? Do you think it's going to be like a cage or a Hell in a Cell, or?
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, it's getting
Wouldn't
to that
it be
point.
awesome to see them in a Hell in a Cell match?
It would be. With Triple H as the ref, which we'll talk about that in the men's Royal Rumble. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be. You know, I love it that Bobby's a champion again, and I love it that he's got the win over Brock. I think that's awesome. Yeah. He deserves that. Good for him. He's put in a lot of hard work. Him and MVP both should be celebrating.
Yeah.
But, you know, having Roman come out and kind of see Paul Heyman just be a brilliant, brilliant actor, and just like, here you go. Like, here's the belt, sir. You know, such a greaseball piece of crap.
Yeah.
I'm the most excited to see where this goes between, like, because Heyman had said, I think, to Ariel Helwani, like, you haven't seen anything yet.
Right.
And I'm still hanging on to that thing of like, you haven't seen anything yet. Like, I'm so pumped. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think? We give it that like the whole match an A?
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
got to be an A. Yeah.
And you know what? Yes, it could have gone. It could have been a short one.
Yeah.
With them both being on equal footing. But I understand how it could go long because the two of them really didn't have much of an effect on each other, because they're both colossus. So
Yeah.
So I get it from both angles. Yeah, I enjoyed the whole thing. It was great. I could give a crap whether it was a DQ or not. I think it's set up. Again, we complain about not having long-term storytelling, and yet when it happens, like the first thing we want to do is shit on it. Like, well, they can't give a clean finish. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of fun. Well, we did get a clean finish in the following match. Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth Phoenix. First off, I loved it how both teams had matching gear. They looked great.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen Edge kind of have that like almost blue-green, like teal green color in it. That was pretty neat. And then I liked how Miz and Maurice were both in red. They look great, man. Everybody looked great.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the match?
It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Entertain.
Yeah.
It wasn't supposed to be some huge competitive match or anything like that. I had fun. That was what it was supposed to do. I had fun. I really enjoyed the Beth Phoenix kicking the snot out of the Miz.
The powerbomb, man. Yep. Good God.
She's a beast. And her arms are bigger than half of AEW's roster.
She can probably bench more than Adam Cole.
Oh,
baby.
for sure. For sure she can.
I could probably bench more than Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Not true. So he's got better access to spray tan cans than I do.
Oh, dear. Why didn't
I thought it was kind of silly how at one point Edge was trying to get the hot tag to Beth. Meanwhile, Maurice was trying to get Miz to wake up so she could also get a tag. With mixed tag rules, if one of them tags, then the other opposite gender is legal.
Right.
So there's no point in a hot tag at that point because you're not trying to save anything because you can't go in and beat that person up because they're the opposite sex.
Yeah, it was silly. Yeah.
So the hot tags in a intergender mixed tag, it doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Yeah. It was fun. It was a good break because the next thing that we had was an absolute treat that I don't think I wasn't expecting it. So the men's Royal Rumble match. By the way, attendance 44,390 motherfuckers showed up to this.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. Entrant number 1 in the men's Royal Rumble, AJ Styles. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Number 2, in a return to action, Shinsuke Nakamura.
He still gets such a huge pop, man.
I think it's mainly because Pat McAfee's standing on the desk, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. But he's always going to be over.
Yeah. Well, especially with the OG music,
Yeah.
That's just me. I think that helps out a lot. But yeah, that was pretty rad seeing both of them kind of have a moment there. Mm-hmm. Austin Theory was 3rd.
Oh, I need to stop you here.
Tell me.
Did you watch that AJ Styles Austin Theory match that I asked you to watch?
No.
Okay.
All right.
At some point, just make a note of it. Just go watch it, dude. I'm telling you, you'll be like, whoa, like not expecting that.
Okay.
It was legit impressive. It was, you know what it was? It was the match that Shinsuke and AJ were supposed to put on at WrestleMania that time.
It was, they had was it AJ and Shinsuke at that was like my first like Tokyo Dome pay-per-view, I think, right? It was at Wrestle Kingdom 9.
Yeah.
And so
maybe you're better at that than I am.
9 AJ Styles Nakamura. Yeah. That was Wrestle Kingdom 9.
Nakamura.
No, sorry, it was Wrestle Kingdom 10. That was the first time that they had wrestled each other.
Got it.
Yeah, that was neat. Austin Theory, I'll watch that match. Bob Roode, which is what Pat McAfee was referring to him as, but Robert Roode, only less than a minute in the Royal Rumble match. Ridge Holland, which sounds like a street in East Tennessee. Montez Ford, then Damian Priest, then Sami Zayn. Then we get Johnny Knoxville. Angelo Dawkins. Omos had a blast, eliminating AJ Styles, Austin Theory. No. He was eliminated by AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Ridge Holland, Ricochet, Chad Gable, and Dominic Mysterio, which blew my mind. He was in there for only 4 minutes. I thought Omos would have. It's been a minute since we've had somebody clean house. Remember when Diesel just absolutely cleaned house?
Yeah.
Like one dude after another, he was just getting them out.
Yep.
That needs to happen sooner than later. We haven't seen it to where, like Steve Austin just doing push-ups in the ring, waiting for the next person.
Yeah.
Like almost could be that guy.
The time where he's looking at his watch. Like, come on.
Yeah. Ricochet, Chad Gable, Dominic Mysterio, who thankfully was eliminated by the worst person on the planet, Happy Corbin. Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Rick Boogs, Madcap Moss, Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, Kofi Kingston.
Oh, poor guy.
Dude.
How mad do you think Vince was in the back?
I don't want to talk about how mad Vince was. I want to talk about how just devastated Kofi would have to be.
Yeah.
And first off, that's a ridiculous jump that he did.
Right.
Jesus. Absolutely ridiculous jump.
Yeah, to have to turn around mid-air like that and then try and pull that off. It's one of the drawbacks of when you've done every other stunt and you're trying to think of how can I top the year before, and this is the risk, unfortunately. But that for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, Kofi Kingston is known for his antics in the Royal Rumble, for managing to keep himself alive on the outside in very creative ways. Well, he accidentally botched this particular one and was eliminated very, very quickly.
So it was almost like he had gotten a mid-sized ladder, jumped off the ladder to the guardrail that's surrounding the ring, and it looked like he was going to like just put his feet on it.
Yeah.
Or at least like straddle it with his chest, but both of his feet just hit the floor. And I think one of the refs, I don't remember which ref it was, but he went over. He's like, "No, we got it on camera, man. Sorry, you're out." And he was like, "Are you sure?" And he was like, "Hang on, they're checking the replay." Yeah,
very much so.
Michael Cole was like, "Let's see if both feet touch the floor," and Pat McAfee was like, "I think they did." Like,
Dude, that was the best part too, when they were like, "I'm not sure if it did or not," and then they showed the replay and was like, "Wow, how did everybody miss that?" That was.
We're gonna check it from the other angle. It's like, no, we saw it, man. Like he totally hit. Oh man, so he could have had the shortest time in the Rumble. He was only there for 21 seconds.
Yeah.
Out of the whole night, let's see, did anybody get less than 21 seconds?
Summer Rae, maybe.
Ivory was at 25.
Damn.
Summer Rae was at 52. Mighty Molly was at 20. So he's only beat by
Oh.
Sorry, Kofi. We love you. By 1 second, Mighty Molly beat him. After Kofi Kingston was Otis. Then we had Big E. Then what took me by surprise, 2 people back to back. And these were the total of 3 free agents in this whole match, if you don't consider Brock Lesnar a free agent. But Johnny Knoxville's a free agent. Bad Bunny, number 27. Let's spend some time with this guy for a second, okay? The dude got F5'd by Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think I have enough money to even contemplate how much money I would pay to have Brock Lesnar F5 me. For not only just not even like being F5, but like in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Being F5'd by, and then Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
the Here Comes the Money, like that, to me, that was up there with, most exciting moments of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was definitely that between Ronda and Shane McMahon. Those were pretty rad. Number 29, Randy Reginald Aloysius Orton. And then the winner and the final entrant, number 30, Brock Lesnar. And he went ham, eliminating 5 people.
Yeah.
Outside of AJ Styles had the most eliminations with 6. AJ Styles eliminated Austin Theory, Rich Holland, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke, Robert Roode, and with help from his friends, Omos.
Mm-hmm.
While Brock Lesnar eliminated Riddle, Drew McIntyre, which that is payback because Drew McIntyre eliminated Brock Lesnar with a Claymore.
Correct.
He also, he being Brock, eliminated Bad Bunny, Randy Orton, and Shane McMahon. Let's talk about Shane McMahon for a second. Why was he here? Out of all the people.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, it was exciting, of course, but like, where's that? I don't think that's going anywhere. It's just he was in the building.
I mean, so he was last seen at WrestleMania 37 in a steel cage match with Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Well, no, that got canceled because he was replaced by Elias, though. Anyway, why? Why Shane? Well, that concluded the pay-per-view with Brock winning. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I truly do feel bad for Drew McIntyre. And here's why. So he's been out injured. His return wasn't really, anyone that's been following it isn't going to be super excited because I feel like he got so overexposed during the COVID era and had to carry all that through. Then it made him a very stale, wrestler and a stale character. I kind of wish that whole COVID championship run for him just never happened.
Really?
Yeah, I feel bad for him, man, because he's great. He's really good. I'll put him in the Sheamus category. Like he's hard hitting. He knows what he's doing. He's a giant, like another big guy. He can talk. He's clearly got personality, but like no one cares anymore because of what he had to do to get that company through the Thunderdome era. Yeah. It sucks for him. I almost want him to go away for a year and then come back and just be an asshole to everybody, and like,
yeah, he spent a lot of time doing the whole, like, do you know how hard I've worked to get here? Like I've went through every superstar in the back. It's like, yeah, man. So is everybody else. Like,
so is everybody, yeah. But you know what I loved? I loved when he first came back with Ziggler, and he said, everybody back in the back has gone soft. I was like, I'm here to instill some respect and some and to weed out the people that just are getting a paycheck here. And like, I like that.
I think he did that. I don't know if he was in charge.
Right.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. That's great. That's great. And by the way, Ziggler is always great. I enjoyed him in the Rumble.
he's like, he can do no wrong. I would really, really love to see him do something.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Royal Rumble in and of like a total kind of grade for the whole thing. I'd give it a B. I enjoyed it.
Me too.
I enjoyed it. I don't know what could have been done any better. Yeah. It was a lot of crazy, huge crowd. There was one shot that I saw. I think it was Bleacher Report. They had put up a video of Seth Rollins kind of doing his entrance, and they kind of got towards the side of where the hard cam was.
Yeah.
And it looked like there was a giant drape. It looked like they'd cut off maybe like a third of the arena and kind of pushed everybody towards the view of the hard cam.
Got it.
But it was still like a pretty good, you could get a really nice panoramic shot, but they had like a whole section completely curtained off.
How many people can you fit in that place when 44,000 people were already in there and a third of it was taped off? That's crazy.
Yeah. Let's see here. So it was in the Dome at America's Center, which the capacity for the venue itself is 66,965.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's a massive, massive venue. And it looks like this is the arrangement that they had taken here. I'll try to post this picture. But this is kind of what the arena looked like, with it draped off. And that makes total sense based on what we saw last night and how they shot it and where the entrance was. And yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Entrance looked great too. I was kind of surprised, especially with a big arena like that. They usually do like like one video strip and they just kind of come out of a dugout on shows like that. At least that's what it's been like for the last few Manias. You weren't really sure, not Manias, well, Manias too, but Rumbles.
Sure.
You weren't really sure where they were coming out of. Especially the Edge Royal Rumble when he came back. Like that was, oof.
What a pop.
What a massive, just like, and him coming out of the, have you seen the most recent Botchamania?
No.
So at the very end, they always have like the ending submissions that are sent in by other people or whatever. So one of them was wherever you have like a video where like smoke kind of engulfs the view of the camera, it just kind of shows Edge coming out of his smoke. So we found somebody that did like a 17-minute long video of like, like a building falling down like somewhere in Eastern Europe, and like the smoke comes up and it's on this day, and then like Edge is coming out for 17 minutes. We watched the entire thing. Awesome. My favorite part is where they make fun of Taz's commentary, and you hear it's Taz, and like it shows an Oompa Loompa coming out of like.
No.
Oh, I think Taz starts drinking when they shoot AEW Dark. It's awful. Well, okay. We have Lesnar as the Men's Royal Rumble champion winner person, Ronda Rousey. So we know for a fact, if we're looking at WrestleMania, whichever number this is, we're going to have Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar, definitely Roman Reigns. Bobby Lashley will play some part in it, I'm sure, if he's still going to be the champion. I don't know if they're going to take care of that come Elimination Chamber. There's still that to look forward to. Yeah. Well, enough about random facts from Wikipedia. I have nothing else to add. I am just...
Same.
Yeah. That was... I did not expect that pay-per-view to not feel like 5 hours, but the next day it definitely felt like 5 hours. Pre-show included. Well, my friend, I hope you have a great rest of your week. We will see you guys here next Sunday. And show should be up here in about 2 hours. So,
sweet.
Dude.
As always.
Well. All right. See you, everybody. Thank you for listening. And we didn't get a review, did we? I doubt it. I doubt it. I'm not even going to look. Have a great week. We will talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.